Welcome to The Art of Likeability, ranked one of the top podcasts in the world. In this podcast, you'll discover how to leverage likability to build stronger relationships, lead more efficiently, close more sales, and keep customers happy while increasing success in your professional and personal life. Let's jump in with your host, Arel Moody.
What's going on, Likeability family? Arel Moody here, your host of the Art of Likeability podcast, where we teach you the skills and strategies you need to elevate your life into a new stratosphere, a new ecosphere, a new Pluto sphere. That's the sphere in which Pluto revolves. That's scientific, baby. Can you disprove that Pluto sphere is not a word? I don't think you can disprove it. I mean, you could if you use the dictionary. Or Google, or if you took 8th grade science, you could probably disprove that Pluto sphere is not a word. But what I'm trying to say is we elevate your game, and that's what we do here, baby. So welcome to the Art of Likeability podcast. I'm Arel Moody, the host, as I mentioned. And listen, I want to explain something to you. It's very important this week. I want you to get this into the fiber of your being, okay? What is the most important asset in the world? What is it? Time, money, gold, real estate, whatever you say it is. I genuinely believe the greatest asset in the world is, drumroll please, relationships. Of course I'm going to say that. Of course you should see that. But let me explain what I mean by that. A good relationship can get you access to information that can change your life. I recently met a really cool entrepreneur in a completely different field of mine. I was like, yo, let's get together. I just want to get to know you. I don't do that often. I don't go out to dinner with people because a lot of times I'm like, oh, I'm so busy in my work, so busy in doing the things I'm doing that sometimes I find it hard to connect with new people. But it was something about this dude. I was like, I like this guy. Let me just connect with him. He's an entrepreneur, completely different industry as me. So I didn't think there would be that much I could learn from the guy. But you know what? In that one conversation, I learned things that completely changed how I might be doing business and how I'm looking into things and models of the business that I currently have and opportunities I didn't even know existed. And I was like, yo, in one conversation over dinner, this dude dropped some knowledge on me and I appreciated it, right? And then it just got me to realizing, and I do this all the time. I teach relationships and social affluency and those kind of skills. And, it's always amazing when you kind of can feel it and see it in your life. And I saw this in my life through that conversation. I realized that, relationships are key because if I never met that guy, if I never spoke to him, I would never have done it. I never would have known this information that, I think could change. And when I think about my life, which changed my life the most, hands down. And, books change your life. But the people you meet, they change your life. The people you meet introduce you to books. The people you meet introduce you to new ideas, a new way of acting, a new way of being. They may introduce you to friends. If you really get down to it, the right relationships makes things a phone call away. That's why it's so important that you invest in your relationships. It's real easy to watch, sports games and get on the internet and look up recipes and do things, post on social media, but not really interact with people, right? There's a lot of ghost following that people do. And if you don't know what the term means, basically on social media, we'll passively consume content. So we scroll through our feed, we read people's posts, we look at people's pictures, but we don't post or say anything. That's a ghost follower. Or we broadcast. So we say things that's going on in our life, but we don't really interact with people. And if we do interact with them, it's like, oh, thank you, appreciate it, you the best, LOL, emoticon. So it's not really building a relationship. It's building maybe a brand awareness for yourself or your company. But it's not relationship building. Right relationships, key relationships with the right people absolutely impact your life and cause your life to be significantly different. People who have skill sets that you don't have, people who are thinking on the same wavelength as you are thinking, people who care about the things you care about, they impact your life in a great way. So I ask you, how are the relationships in your life? When you look at the people that you spend the most time with, the people that are most close to you. What's life like? Is it healthy? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it joyful? Is it non-existent? Do you feel alone? Do you feel like you've been isolating yourself? Do you feel like you are nurturing your relationships? Do you feel like you're doing the things you're supposed to do to build the right business relationships? Like, just take a moment and really get present with it. Everyone's going to have a different place. For you listening right now, you could be in an amazing upswing and you're like, heck yeah, baby, I'm crushing it. And some of you could be like, oh man, maybe not so great. As much as you invest in real estate and stocks and bonds and mutual funds and all that stuff, I encourage you to invest in relationships. Invest in getting to know people, even if you mess up, even if you look stupid, even if something doesn't go well. Like if you invest in a stock, and obviously no one usually invests in just one stock. You have multiple stocks, right? Like a portfolio. You invest in stock. If one stock plummets and you lose like 80% of your money, you don't go, well, I'm never going to invest in stocks again. You go, that was a bad pick. I'll pick another one. You invest in a real estate property, maybe it doesn't go great. You lose some money. But look, right now, market's great, depending on where you are in the world. But for the most part, people are selling houses like hotcakes. So maybe one house went bad, but, relationships are the same way. A lot of people get burnt by a relationship, whether it's a romantic or personal or professional. They go, I'll never have a business partner again, or I'll never find love again because my heart was broken. And they did the two-step on it from Hitch. Will Smith popularized the two-step when he was teaching Kevin James how to dance. It's a good movie. Watch it. It's not Will Smith's best movie, but you know what I'm saying. Two-stepped on your heart. It hurt your heart, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And you feel like you can't love again. It's just a bad pick, It's not the end of the world. So your investments in relationships takes intention and takes time. It takes you making a decision that relationships are important. What I don't want you to do is listen to all of these podcast episodes we're putting out and then go back to doing things the way you've been doing them. Your default way of being. I want you to be a new evolved, a new Pluto sphere version of yourself. And one of the ways you do that is by putting an intentional practice in relationships. So contact someone right now. Set up a dinner date with a potential business person, not knowing necessarily, not trying to sell them per se, but maybe just building that relationship. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe just saying we should go get drinks, bubble tea, alcohol, whatever you do. I don't judge. Decide to make relationships important. If you focus on them, I promise you they will pay the best dividends and pay you back more frequently and passively and actively and all these great things that other investments just can't do. It's up to you to put in the work. It's up to you to decide relationships are important. Look at your life. What relationship? Everybody's life has professional, personal, romantic categories, right? Some might be like, well, I ain't got no romantic category right now. It'd be like, well, I ain't working, so I ain't got no professional. Some type of business relationship. And if you don't have a business, maybe you do nonprofit work, maybe you volunteer. You gotta do something to fill your soul. Right? It doesn't have to be like a job. Just like if you don't have a job, I'm not saying you're not a fulfilled person, but it's important to do work that contributes. You have to contribute some way. So maybe you contribute as a mother or as a volunteer at your church or synagogue or mosque or something. But contribution is an important part of giving. So there's professional / contribution, if you will. There's personal and there's romantic. Look at the three categories. Ask yourself, which one of these categories needs a little support? Which one of these needs a little bit of love? Where can I be investing a little bit more time and energy into? And be intentional about it. Literally this simple task of going, where should I invest my time, could pay you huge dividends. So this week, I want you to look at the three categories: professional / contribution, personal, and romantic, and say, where can you invest a little bit more time in those relationships? If you're in a committed relationship and you just have one romantic partner, how do you invest more? Can you go on a date night? Can you buy him a little gift, give him a little massage, something? Invest in that. Personal, maybe call up a friend that you really, really love, but you just don't hang out with often, and be like, yo, we should connect. Let's just grab some drinks. No pressure. Just come, let's hang. Maybe it's business. Maybe you should go to an event or reach out to a mentor or something. But you have to decide to do something, okay? So that's your task. Now, you can listen to this podcast, but this information ain't going to do nothing for you. When you implement this information, baby, lots of great things happen. So please go ahead and implement this information. Know that I'm excited for you. Stay connected. Great things are here within the Art of Likeability family. Great things are coming. And I hope you stay connected and invest in us, and we'll invest in you every week. All right? So go ahead and leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening to if you haven't done this yet. Hit me up at Arel Moody, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, ARELMOODIE. I'm out of here, y'all. Sending you a big ol' high five. You are awesome. Psh.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, The Art of Likeability, and reach out with any questions you have. Until next time, remember, my friend, you are awesome.